Hi there, my name is Luke. Today I interviewed a couple of very beautiful souls called Peter Knight and Sue Wallace. They write books and they do sort of tour guide stuff, but the books they write are about subtle energies and power spots and sort of places of power and how we recognize them and how we interact with them. So I interviewed them today because I think they have a very important message about that, which is about how to connect with these places. And I think the reason we need to connect with these places is because we're obviously on the wrong track as a species, and I think we need to do what we can to get back on track. And I think part of that may be to develop a more reverential relationship with nature and the planet. And I think one way to easily get into that relationship is through going to powerful places, sacred places, and connecting with them. And I think these guys are experts in that field. So please enjoy. Thank you. So you guys take people to these sacred places. Why? What's to be gained from going to a sacred place? Why would people, why should I take my family on a trip to Avebury rather than Disneyland? What's...
Do we need to answer that? So, to start with, we believe everywhere is sacred, really. I guess even Disneyland, the whole earth is sacred, just to put that in from the start. But I think there's always been certain places on the earth which ancient people and indigenous cultures today regard as being a little bit special. Perhaps where they feel spirit is present, and perhaps where they've been relatively unspoilt compared to Disneyland. And we have found it personally to be a beneficial for us to go there. In a mad world, they can offer solace and calm. And you can also open up a two-way communication between the spirit of the place and yourself, which we have found to be very profound on many occasions. So what makes a place sacred then? So when you talk about a place that opens you up and allows you to connect more deeply, so what, a cave might be sacred but a patch of motorway isn't? What is it? What's the difference? What is it that imbues a place with sacredness?
Good question. And that might be the topic of another book. But generally, we're talking about some kind of energetic quality that has, in a place like a waterfall or a cave, or usually some nature rather than a motorway, where the energies are being disturbed, or they've perhaps been totally disrupted because of all the earthworks and then the actual laying of a motorway, as well as all the traffic that's thundering by at 100 miles an hour. So yes, usually a place that would be tranquil would be the best.
Well, are all undisturbed places equally sacred? We have these sites like Avebury, for example. I guess that's a kind of disturbed. It's not totally natural, right?
Well, I think the ancient prehistoric sites are built very much with nature and the energies in mind. The ancient people weren't seeking to destroy nature. They built their sites to be in harmony with nature and even to accentuate the beneficial earth energies, like the pyramids in Egypt and other sacred sites. Stonehenge and Avebury were built to enhance the earth energies and to let the shamans and the people access the beneficial energies that the earth has to give, and generally for the benefit of agriculture as well. A lot of sacred sites were built, I think, to enhance the energies that go across the land. And so yes, even the early sacred sites, and even in classical times, the temples, the Greek temples, the Roman temples, were built very much with the landscape in mind. Very often it's about the landscape setting as much as anything else. Places like Delphi and things like that, and even Stonehenge and Avebury, it's very much about putting your temple not on the landscape, but rather to be held within it. I think that's the difference. People in ancient times were working in harmony with nature, and at least for the last 150 years we certainly have not been. And of course we're we can see what's happening at the moment because of that. We haven't been treating the land as sacred for an awful long time, and things are coming back to bite us because of that.
So when I go to these sort of places, I sit in somewhere like Avebury, and I sit in a state of wonder, just trying to understand what the hell were they doing. The effort that goes into making something like that, just tremendous. I can't even imagine. Yeah, today when we build a house or build a building, we do it quickly, we do it cheaply, and we do it for a specific purpose, whether it's a swimming pool or a tennis court or a house or a shop or whatever. The effort justifies the use. But when you go to a sacred site, the tremendous effort that went into that, how is it justified by the use? What were they doing there? Why did they build it? What's your take on this?
If only we knew.
If only we knew, but I think certainly in the first few books that I wrote, I very much was trying to get to the heart of why they were built, and for what purpose. And that seems to be the purpose, the aim of most researchers nowadays. But I think in the last few years, certainly the result of our last two books, we've not worried so much about what it was for, rather than how was it experienced and how can we experience it today. You can be an atheist and go in a church or a temple and feel something, and I think when we try to analyze things too much, we actually rob ourselves of the experience. We're all doing instead of being human beings, and what you do, you said, just you go to Avebury and you sit down or lean against a stone. That's a very good start, because I think sometimes we charge about and put lines across maps and all this sort of thing, and it robs us, to me, of something which certainly, to me personally, has become prime importance, and that's experiencing what's there. And we have found, I think, that when we turn the mind off, and when we just try to sit and tune into a place, whether it's a temple, a stone circle or a waterfall, ironically you actually end up receiving more information and more insight of what the place is really about when we turn this thing off in our heads,
Do you think that these sites like Avebury were chosen because the energy was strong there, or do you think that the places like Avebury made the energy stronger?
That's a great question, isn't
Chicken and the egg.
it? It always is. It's well, quantum physics will say that both can be the case. Of course, that really does your head in, doesn't it? So I think the bottom line is the Earth energies were always there first. The Earth was here before any people came along. So I generally feel that the Earth energies are always there first. And the temples, the stone circles, and cathedrals and churches are positioned to access that energy. But certainly they can enhance it. You can affect the energies by the design of your sacred site, as in with the pyramids. It's really powerful at the top of a pyramid. And the Earth energies, I think, always come first.
This is the thing. So you were saying that maybe the stones sort of enhance a strong energy that's already there, right? So let's say you live somewhere and it's barren of energy and it feels like a very unsacred sort of place. How can they make it more sacred? Invite that good energy what's the trick to make a place more sacred?
See, a feng shui specialist would probably say, bring water to the place, dig a pond. Sometimes you can actually put stones, as we've done in our little stone circle in the garden.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was looking very nice.
And it can affect the Earth's energies to that place. The energy will move from half a mile over, and it'll come and have a look at your little stone circle or your megalith, and you think, okay. You've turned your garden into a sacred space.
So that's the trick. Make a little megalithic stone circle in your back garden. I like it. Very, very nice. I think as equally responsive, if you want to make your place sacred, it's to putting something in there. It's equally important as your intent. I think your intent. So
love.
Do it for the right thing. Lots of love, and then the positive energies will come there anyway.
So, to get back this sense of reverence, I think going to sacred places, it's very easy to go there and have a very mundane experience. How does someone experience the magic in a magical place? How does someone go there and connect with that deeper energy and make the experience of going there a magical, sacred experience rather than just a mundane one?
Well, I think in our books we give some clues. We just explain how we arrived there at that space. just to go and be humble and be still and be silent, and just go as if you're the pupil, and the teachers all around you, and the place, the sacred site. What do I need to learn here? Because it's very much the mindset of the archaeological scientific mindset when we arrive somewhere. Right, we're going to find out all about this site. We're going to get right in there and we're going to explain it all and all that sort of thing. And I've been guilty of that. And but we have the opposite approach now. We're not the person who's going to crack the site. We're the person who hopefully will be given some of the place's insights. And I have found that works 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
You can gain a lot more by doing nothing than with the scientific mindset, I find. I mean, in our books, we do all the research. Of course we do. We do the history and we do the astronomy. The astronomy is always very interesting. It's wonderful. The astronomical alignments. But if you want to really get deep into the earth spirit, then just be receptive. Just be receptive.